Hello everybody, my name is Tiffany. Welcome to my channel. If you notice I'm wearing this shirt in any other video, it's because I am batch filming. So don't go in the comments being like, ew, you're dirty, you're wearing the same shirt for mad long. No, I'm not. This is the same day. I'm wearing the same shirt because it's the same day. I'm not going to switch my shirt 5 times to record 5 different videos. Sorry. Anyways, now that that's out of the way and my little disclaimer, we can get into today's video. So I have a lot of videos that I want to film because I want to be able to post twice a week, but today's video is going to be a doozy. So I've already recorded half of these videos, but unfortunately I recorded them like 3 months ago. I love how I put a 5 3 months ago, and I just feel like I could do it better, so that's what I'm gonna do. So in today's video I'm gonna be talking about burnout. So I know this is something that not a lot of people like to talk about, but I feel like it's something that's super important to talk about, and like, should it be like a cliche or like something that we avoid talking about in the art community or in any community in general, because I feel like no matter what career you choose to have, you will experience burnout at least one point in your life, and it's nice to have some tips and tricks to like avoid it before you get to that point, and or tips and tricks on how to get rid of burnout once you've already had burnout. So in this day and age, people put so much pressure on people to maintain a work-life balance and to have a job, a full-time career, a family, a social life, hobbies, side hustles. There's so much that people put pressure on other people to maintain, and also that people put pressure on themselves to maintain. It's honestly ridiculous. So I feel like burnout is bound to happen at some point in your life. So if you are now or have previously experienced burnout, then this video is for you. You're gonna want to stick around so that you can know how to cure your burnout or how to completely avoid burnout to begin with. Without further ado, let's just jump into this. Let's go. I have 5 tips to share with you today. So before I get into the tips, there are a few things that I want to mention. Burnout does not mean lack of motivation or that you don't feel like doing something. Burnout is essentially, let's look it up. I feel like I did this already in my previous video when I was talking about burnout. It's not in my notes, so like I failed myself. But burnout is not lack of motivation. It's not like, oh, you know, I don't feel motivated to do anything. Like it's that, but it's so much deeper than that. So I'm going to read you guys the definition of burnout. Burnout is exhaustion of physical or emotional strength or motivation, usually as a result of prolonged stress or frustration. That is the perfect description of what burnout is. It is prolonged stress and frustration that continues to pile up on top of itself and just leads to a complete lack of motivation and ability to cope with stress and frustration. So, as I previously mentioned, I believe that everyone at some point in their life has dealt with burnout, whether you realize it or not. So let's jump into the tips and tricks that will help you if you are experiencing burnout, have experienced burnout, or notice that you may be starting to feel burnt out. Tip 1 is take time for yourself. Now, in a world where we are constantly told that putting yourself first is selfish, that might seem like a hard thing to do. If you have family, if you have, other people who are relying on you, that might seem like a hard thing to do. But taking time for yourself might seem like an obvious answer, right? Because self-care. But a lot of the times people forget about themselves. People forget to put themselves first. People forget that they cannot fill anybody up from an empty cup. You must be filled before you can fill anybody else's cup. You cannot give what you do not have. So in order to help anybody, in order to do what you have to do on a daily basis and deal with all the stress that you have to deal with, you have to make sure you have enough capacity within yourself to take on everything that you're taking on. What I would recommend is to do something that you love, whether that's creating art, whether that is fixing cars, whether that is, binge watching TV shows. Whatever it is that you find enjoyable, take at least an hour of your day and set aside at least 30 minutes to an hour of your time doing that. Whether that's a self-care routine, a long bubble bath, whatever you consider self-care, do it. And give yourself me time. Don't say you'll do something and then not do it. Find a hobby outside of your job. Find something that is enjoyable to you, that you actually like, that you would spend all your time doing if you could, and then do that. You don't have to delve so deep into it and make it a career, but you can have hobbies and enjoy them and really take time to just be in your own mind and in your own self and get to know yourself. Tip number 2 is put your phone down. Now, I don't want to sound like your grandma or your mom or anything like that. Like technology is bad and technology is why you can't sleep and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not where I'm coming from. But to an extent, if you really think about it, they're kind of right. Putting your phone down will help you to kind of notice more in life. And when you notice more in life, you realize all that you have to be grateful for. So that's super important. The endless scrolling on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or whatever social media pleases you or entertains you is like an instant gratification almost. Like you don't have to work for it. You're just instantly gratified. You're instantly entertained. And it's so fast paced, especially with YouTube shorts, TikTok reels, on Instagram. All those things are 7, 15 seconds, 60 seconds, short videos that give you instant gratification and causes you to kind of fall into a cycle of, if it's not instantly gratifying me, I don't want it, which makes the work that you have to put into things like your job, your side hustle, your side business, your content creating, whatever the case may be, your art, things that will take you a long time to accomplish, it makes it increasingly less satisfying because you're so used to that cycle of instant gratification. Also, this is a really big one for putting your phone down, a really big reason too. Your phone, I don't care who you are, your phone has some sort of social media on it. Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever you're on some sort of social media. YouTube, And that opens the doors to comparison. And comparison is a very bad thing because it will, one, keep you out of rooms you're meant to be in, as in it will destroy your self-esteem to the point where you feel like you don't belong or you're not good enough to do something that you know you can do because you're comparing yourself to somebody else who's better than you. Or two, it will stop you from doing certain things that you are not good at. So let's say you want to learn a new craft, but you see somebody else who's doing this craft, who has been doing this craft for 10 years, and you know that your project, let's say crocheting, let's say you see my crochet items and you can't crochet like me. I've only been doing it for 5 years. I see people who I'm like, holy smokes, I can never do that. Like, they are so talented. Like, I could never. And it stops me from doing something that I know would make me super happy to do, but I feel like I can't do it as good as that person, so why should I even try? That's bad. You will never start off being good at something. Unless you're like a prodigy, you will never just be great at something. It takes practice and patience and time and effort. So don't compare yourself. Don't go on social media comparing yourself. It does not lead to anything good, I promise you. Tip number 3 is be present. So I feel like this is kind of another given, but a lot of people struggle with being present in a certain moment. Like I said, it also kind of falls under the cell phone thing. With social media, with our phones and everything like that, it's really hard to be present in certain situations. Like when you're out on dates with a loved one, or you're at a family gathering. Like, somebody always has their phone. Somebody's always on their phone, engaging with their electronic devices, and they're not being present. Even if you're just taking a picture, or you're, showing somebody something on the phone, you're not being present in that moment. It's really important to be present and stop thinking about what else you could be doing rather than the thing that you're doing. Like, I used to, in my old job, it's literally day 4 or day 5 of me being jobless, and I'm not mad about it. But I did get fired from my position at a really toxic workplace environment. So I was always thinking I would rather be home crocheting. I would rather be home filming a YouTube video. I would rather be home drawing, painting, anything. Sleeping, laying in my bed, literally doing absolutely nothing. I'd rather be doing that than be here. And because of that mindset, I feel like I had a more miserable time at work than I would have if I was just like happy about it. Towards the end, I shifted that mindset because I realized how toxic my own mindset was, and how it stopped me from enjoying the little bit of things I had to enjoy at this job. Yes, the job was toxic. Yes, I hated it. Yes, my boss was not the best boss I could have had. Yes, there was workplace harassment and, all these bad things happening in this place. But I could have enjoyed so many more moments with my coworkers who were actually nice and fun to be around, that I just kind of let go to waste because I was mad about the fact that I was even at work to begin with. With that being said, I think that if you really look and be present, there is always something beautiful for you to find. You may not notice it straight off the bat. You may not look and see, oh my God, this is what it is. But like how I realized all the moments that I lost with my coworkers and my friends, there are moments that you are missing out on because of your negative mindset or because of your lack of presence and awareness and gratitude towards the situation you're in. Tip number 4 is spending time with people who are important to you. I feel like all of these you'll probably think are a given, but not many people will reach out to their loved ones when they are feeling burnt out. I am a kind of person who, when I feel burnt out or I feel overwhelmed, I want nobody near me. I want to be alone. I don't want anyone to talk to me. I don't want anyone to engage with me. I want to be alone. And while that works for some people, what you really need in a moment where you're overwhelmed is people who love you and understand you. Excuse me. People who love you and understand you and want the best for you. People who are willing to support you through whatever you're going through. And sometimes that's all that it takes, knowing that somebody's there to support you to get you out of a rut. So definitely explaining to your friends, your family, your spouse, your therapist, whoever that is for you, letting them know, like, hey, I'm feeling really burnt out. I'm not feeling myself. I need help. What can you recommend for me? And sometimes people who are outside of that situation can tell you and give you better advice than you can give yourself being stuck in that situation, because they're looking from the outside in and they can see both perspectives of the situation. Engaging in conversations that are deeper than just, hey, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you? I'm doing great. Blah, blah, blah. Can be so amazing, because it can lead to deeper conversations where you can really express yourself and be vulnerable with the people that you love. So I highly recommend doing that, even if you're not feeling burnt out, like setting aside a time and a place to speak with the loved ones that you have, because just like how you might not feel comfortable like ranting to your friends or your family, they might not feel comfortable starting or engaging that conversation for themselves. So just having a time and a place where you guys can communicate all of that is really good. And then tip number 5 is talk to someone, anyone, doesn't matter who, preferably somebody who cares for you and has your best interest at heart, and somebody who can actually help you. I would highly recommend a therapist, because they can help you with coping mechanisms and give you some professional advice rather than friends who will probably say things that may or may not rub you the wrong way. Like, I know some people will probably tell you, oh, you have nothing to be, like burnt out about. Your job is easy. You barely do anything all day, whatever the case may be. Like, they just don't know what to say when they're approached with like very vulnerable topics. So I highly recommend a therapist, a counselor, anybody that you can talk with who will listen rather than try to talk over you and like explain a situation where they felt that way. Because I feel like that's another thing that a lot of people do. They'll try to like help you to understand how they got out of a situation. Not only that, they'll try to like gain your trust in this situation by saying, oh, I felt like that too. This is what I did. And sometimes you'll feel like, okay, this isn't about you and your situation. We just turned it to your situation, and now we're not talking about how I feel. So talking with a professional who can actually help you and give you good tips and tricks and coping mechanisms and get to the root of why you are burnt out is preferred. And I am not a mental health professional by any means, so take what I say with a grain of salt, but I highly recommend speaking with a professional who is able to help you. yeah, with that being said, that is all the tips I have for you guys. I hope that this helped you. I hope that you feel a little bit of relief and put to test some of the tips that I've given you. Like I said, take this all with a grain of salt. I'm not a mental health professional. This is not medical advice. This is not anything that, you know, you should really like take in stone. This is just tips and tricks that have helped me with burnout. But everybody is different. We are all different. Everything is individual. What causes me to burn out might not cause you to burn out. Everyone's tolerance is different, so I highly recommend speaking with a medical professional, a therapist, a counselor, anybody who can help you figure out why you're at the state that you're in and help you walk through that process. I know that burnout can lead to depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. So if your burnout has gotten to that point, definitely go ahead and reach out to somebody who can help you. There is no shame whatsoever in doing so. I believe that people should reach out and get help if they need it, and everyone should be seeing a therapist. Even if you don't have a mental health disorder, it's just nice to talk with people and work through day-to-day things that you might not even consider are causing any trauma or trouble in your life, but they really are. Like, I've had moments where I didn't even know certain things were triggered by other things, and I realized that they were. And talking with a therapist has helped me so much, so I highly recommend it. There is no shame, and anyone who makes you feel bad or shames you for talking to a therapist or having a therapist or counselor or whatever has no good intentions for you. You should drop them 100%. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that this video has helped you. I hope you found this interesting. If you are interested in any other videos that I am planning on making, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment down below with any video ideas that you may have or any extra tips that have worked for you and your burnout. And go ahead and like this video if you found it helpful. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye!